Blouse and skirts, pants and shirt.
Good evening once again, and welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Curtis Henry, and we are sitting in here with some of our regulars, Mr. Mark Chase. So glad to see you again. Welcome back. How are you, sir?
Well. Doing well.
Well. Since we have you up front and center, you have the mic. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what it is you do.
My name is Mark Chase. I represent Chase Audit Services. We are a preparation firm for financial, insurance, and any other type of audit that you may encounter.
Yes, so for any new viewers to the show who might have joined us last week and coming back this week and wondering where this fella come out from, he is a regular on the show. Sometime every now and then he take a little time off.
Yeah.
Without pay.
Welcome.
But he's back with us tonight, and we're so happy to have him. And we have some of the listeners joining on right now. Thank you, Lucy O'Brien. Good night to you. So, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Here what we're gonna do. How many episodes we up to right now?
We could do the countdown.
I don't know. That's you and Karin and them. Go ahead.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 62.
62 episodes, uninterrupted, no commercial break.
Right, that's right.
That's what I call tenacity, putting one foot in front of the next and keep pushing forward. When we started with 1, we said, well, all right, let me move on to number 2. And here we are at 62 and still going strong. Give yourself a round of applause for your efforts and your continued contributions. And for the listeners, thank you all so much for joining in. And
thank you, listeners. Thank you.
Keeping abreast of the news, reviews, and sometimes idle conversation that we bring to you all. But
very
I like it.
Conversation.
Very idle conversation sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look back at some of the episodes and I have to do nothing but laugh myself because you all are funny, rather interesting blend of characters.
Yeah,
rather interesting blend. Yeah, and every now and then we get reviews from the audience, and somebody would say, that's Sam fella, I really like that guy, he kind of cool and laid back. That's my boy. And then last week, I think it was, I got an email, somebody say, hey, dear Karin, that's my girl, cool, calm, and collective. I just like the way she vibe. And then every now and then on the show, we have people calling in and saying, we're Dr. Judith. Dr. Judith is my girl. That's my girl, Dr. Judith. Yeah, you carry the swing. And every now and then somebody would say, hey, bro, I like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. That's good. Keep the vibe. So somebody may like me more than they like somebody else, or somebody may like Karin more than they like somebody else. But that's the interesting blend that we bring together, and that's what make a meal interesting. Hold on, did anybody ever say they like Mark?
Yeah, man, that's what people like Mark.
I don't know. I didn't want to leave him out there.
Maybe they like him.
You're good.
He gets some love. A couple episodes, he get a little love here and there, You
get a little love here and there. All right.
A little love here and there,
So my encouragement to each and every one of you, continue doing what you're doing, continue being who you are, and bringing that unique element to Caribbean Feedback. Don't try to copy and be like anybody else. Just be you. Continue being true to yourself. And that is what makes the whole thing interesting and palatable. All right, so I'm going to continue being me. So right now, Sam, run the thing.
Come on. Let me run the thing.
My name is Karin Forrester. I represent BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. BantuKreations can be found on IG and on Facebook as BantuKreations. That's BantuKreations with a K.
Come check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
Koya, I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cup from Music by Tom Cups. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on up, B.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
Hybrid executive, just like you. Good night, good night. Wait a minute, somebody. Mark, you send that person a check.
Thank you.
Somebody jump in and they say, I like Mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna send her a check. But I just wanted to make notice of how pretty Mr. Henry looks. He look like he put
young fella.
Look now.
Find another adjective for me, please. Find another adjective for me, please. When a man looking at me and telling me I look pretty, I don't know. So me and you gonna fight.
Man, you gonna fight. You're pretty. Look,
those are fighting words.
Look at his beard with the shea butter in it. It look nice.
Nah, and you look like nice. You spend time in jail. Come out here and talking, but I look pretty. No, sir, me and you gonna fight.
Yeah, boy.
I'm not in that foolishness.
I gonna get to Rikers Island.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope at any given moment our esteemed panelist, Dr. Judith Barnes, will be joining us. Did anybody call and see if Judith up? If she had a link? Because generally she would link me and say, hey, I can't get a link. Sammy send me the link. I ain't know what's up.
I know.
And I know sometimes the minute I start to talk about her, she pop up in the back room and then say, I hear everything you say.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, boy.
Yeah, boy.
I kind of waiting to see some of these women. We have a couple of women in the chat.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have that fella there, and we have One Dread, and yeah, all right. No, I just would like to get some of the brothers' opinion on what we're discussing tonight, because it always kind of off balance in the chat with the amount of estrogen floating along in the chat room. But we have a nice flow here tonight. Little bit of estrogen down in the under part there, but we could deal with she, right? Only ain't scared of that one woman there, right? Only ain't scared of that one woman there, right? So, oh gosh, the next one show up. You see, I was going to start thinking she was gonna jump in late, but I'm glad you're here. Good night, Dr. Judith. So glad for you to join us.
Hello, all.
I say good night, you say hello, all. It's all right. But here what we're going to do. The topic for tonight's conversation, too broke to break up. Let me say that again. too broke to break up.
Yeah, man. Serious business.
And when I say broke, we're not talking about a broken relationship. Because I guess if it's broken, it's easy for you to break up. But I'm talking broke in the sense of broken financially. They say that money makes the world go round. But let me tell you something. Lack of money could make your world go wrong.
Mercy.
Can someone please explain to me the purpose of this union we call marriage? Is it because we are religious and our holy book mandates that it be done? Or are we just following a trend? I've seen situations where some couples write their own vows while others just go along with the same mundane script that has been repeated for centuries. For better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. How many of us really hold on when the situation grows from bad to worse? How many of us really hold on if they're unable to see that silver lining behind the dark cloud? When year after year, you're continuously scratching and scraping to make ends meet. How many of us really have what it takes to really hold on if their significant other should fall ill? How many of us give up or lose our way, venturing out into greener pastures, parting ways because the other party doesn't quite measure up? Didn't you vow to endure until death? Most of us just cut and run. Most of the times because of finances. Sometimes because we don't have it. And sometimes we want to hold on to it. Let me ask Mark as an esteemed, I wouldn't say elderly person, but you're a man of the world, you have experience. Was it ever cheaper to keep her?
No, not in my situation. I found that it was cheaper for me to let she go. No, I never felt that way. I never had that sort of situation, simply because I would try to school, look, you need to put this money away. And I don't know about you, but I put my money away, So you don't, if we have to part ways, nobody is hurting or broke. And if you are, I'll help you to the extent that I agree to. And that's that. So, no, I've never been in a
conversation just in case.
Say that again, sir.
You had a just in case conversation?
Oh, I had the conversation. It's not just in case, it's up front, man. That's up front.
That's what I'm saying. You have it up front just in case it go left.
Right. Yeah, when it go left, all right, you have enough to take care of yourself, or who you wish to care for. And
so you had a prenup.
Yeah, that's right. Guyanese prenup.
Yeah,
Look, let me tell you something,
I'm familiar with situations with women always having what they call vex money. They have something tucked away in their purse when they go out on a date, where they always have that vex money. In case something go down, some situation pop off, they have fear to reach home, they have a little extra money in their pocket to take care of situations. And most times in life and in relationships, women behave the same way. They always say, no, I don't have. No, I don't have, which means I don't have money that I'm willing to spend on this. But I don't think it's ever that they don't have, because somehow they always seem to hold on to something where they have. I remember my grandmother used to have money tied in her socks, tie up in about 4 socks, and they tuck away someplace. And women have this tendency of always having that reserve fund that they hold somewhere. So I don't understand this. This broken thing is always the man situation where the man don't have and he can't provide. But women always seem to have something put away. Am I right or am I right, ladies?
I want to ask you something, Mr.
Ladies. Hold on. Let me bring the ladies in on this.
I want to just find out if you got cut by a woman. I want
if I got cut?
Where she cut you. Because you vexed.
No.
You're vexed.
Don't get me wrong, sir. I am no, sir. If you listen to last week's show, you would have said I'm bitter. Not tonight. I ain't bitter tonight. So I'm asking the ladies once again. What was the question I asked? You interrupt me. All you hear me.
You were talking about the training of the ladies in reference to tucking something away.
Yeah, where they always have that
it's not vex money or breast money. I think it's breast money.
Yeah.
They just put it in their breast.
They have
a secret compartment in their breast somewhere, and when they need it, just see they put their hand in there and they pull out some change, and then it disappear again. I don't know.
You guys just wilding. Stop it, man. You guys just wilding. Women have to have money for the vex money. I agree with the vex money. I would teach every young woman from 18 to 30. You're going out. Make sure you have the debit card with some cash on in that account, and make sure you have at least $20. At least $20 cash on you. You got to take a cab. That person turns into a total jackass. Got to go. Then go to the ATM, pull some more funds, get home. At least 20. And that's the minimum, I would say.
So the vex money is for any vex, or is
any vexation? One time, one guy opened his mouth to me, and he was upset about something. And my personal trigger word, is bitch. No man that I've ever been involved with use that.
Yeah.
But this guy lost his mind for half a second, and bitch. It just so happened I was in his vehicle. Started walking, had my cash, got to the ATM, got some more cash, got home. Cool.
So is this after the meal, or this was before the meal?
That was not about a meal situation. It was actually an outdoor type date. But we were driving around and stuff, and he opened his mouth and said the wrong word to me. For me, that's a trigger word. Can't speak for anybody else.
So you would have preferred girl?
Gal and bitch don't work for me at all. Just doesn't.
When I say gal,
great.
Dr. Judith.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about this secret fund that you all always tend to keep as women. And when you all say you're broke, means I don't have any more your money to spend. That's my understanding. When a woman say I'm broke, it means we don't have any more your money to spend. But I have mine, but I ain't spending that. I'm broke. You need to replenish what you give to me.
You want me to tell you what you think is to be said, or you think is common?
No, not what I think. I want to know what it is. Explain on your behalf for me, please. What is this whole thing about?
I can't explain for other women. I've never lived like that. The extra money, yes, the money to, in case somebody, you have to take a cab or something like that. Yeah, that. I have never lived where I had extra money. I never had that vex money. I don't look at life that way. I don't seriously, I don't understand a lot of things that people talk as common. Not common to me. I just don't. I ain't got no money, you understand, that my husband doesn't have. I've never lived that way. So I can only say I know of a lot of things. And it doesn't mean that I got it together. It means that that's not my personality. I don't believe in putting something away. I believe in sharing. And if you have, I have. Before I even got married, my husband was giving me his paycheck. Before I even got married.
Rewind. He was doing what?
He was giving me his paycheck before we even got married.
We was doing paying down on it.
Sure. If that makes you feel good, sure. No, he said to me,
situations were so lovely that he was giving you the check.
No, listen. He was 12 years older than me, and he said, Judith, you obviously spend money better than I do. The guy was practical, but he also knew me. And people might call me a sap or whatever. I don't care. I would take his check, I take mine, I pay the bills. I have sheet, the yellow pad. I write down everything. And when I'm finished, everything's accounted for. The checks are accounted for, credit, debit, whatever. And then I say to him, this is what's left. He said, give me $50. He said, if I need more, I know where to get it. I never held back nothing. I never hid someplace else. It was always available. And that's just, that's how I believe in living. So, I understand and I know when they're reaching there and them have this and that. That's fine. I have nothing against anybody doing that. But if I have to live that way, I don't need a partner.
Judith, I love you, baby. You see, Curtis, he got cut low.
Sorry.
If a woman took a straight razor and cut low to the white meat.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what his problem is. He was bitter last week. Now he just cut low and limping. He's limping. So you don't have all that kind of mess going on.
Listen.
She put in it right there, sir. If she put the money there, let she put the money there.
But the thing is, but what he's saying is very true. It happens a lot. But I think it's a decision. It's a decision, and it depends on your partner. I didn't get divorced because of money or lack of it. It had nothing to do with my divorce.
Did you stay together because of money? Or lack of it?
No. Listen, I really believe. People tell me that I shop like a man. I don't know why people think that good thought means that you have to be masculine. I just don't see a lot of things. I got divorced because I'm stupid. You understand? I messed up and so did my husband. Both of us messed up. So that's clear. Nothing to do with money. So what I'm saying is that there are women that you say, and my mom would hide from my father. And one of the reasons I think is that my father wasn't as careful with money as she was, or maybe as tight as she was. So she would hide it. But I think that's just her nature. That was her personality. But I think there are a lot of women who feel they have to hide something from a man. And there are men who hide things too. And there are people who have separate accounts. And they're proud of it. You know what I saw yesterday, Saturday in the supermarket? A man and a woman apparently live together and they were buying groceries separately. I go for wet myself. What the heck am I living with him for?
But hold on. Let me say that. Let me say that in both of their defense. I've been in a situation before where I would take the money and say, well, okay, you go handle the groceries. Go to the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the supermarket and come back, unpack the groceries, and then I open the cupboard and then it's nothing for me to eat.
Right.
You know what I like? And I'm not a very hard man to please when it comes to food. I'll eat crackers and sugar water.
Butter, yeah.
If that is all, no, not butter. I don't eat butter.
Oh, sorry.
I would eat crackers and sugar water if that is what we have.
Okay.
You understand? Belch, one dirty belch and go to sleep contented. That's how I am. But if you go to the supermarket and we are a family unit, how can you buy stuff for you, buy stuff for the picnic them, and don't buy nothing for me? When I open the cupboard, they don't have no food, nothing inside.
But who says you're a family unit?
When I told you, Dr. Judith, he got cut low and then he got cut high. She ain't missed no part of it. She cut him low, him knees buckle, and then she ain't
in a situation like that. You know what they say? Once bitten, twice shy.
Not only gonna hide money from you, I ain't gonna feed your black ass. That's what she said.
From there, what I had to do is no. You know what? I had to make my own groceries because it doesn't make sense to me how it is. You can do shopping and then I don't have nothing to eat.
But Curtis,
that makes sense.
Listen. The bottom line to me is this: why are you together? What is the definition of your relationship? What is this about? Are you here because you need flesh against flesh? What is the reason that you're really together? If those things are not defined,
getting cut. He was trying to get cut, man.
Yeah, before the cutting, there's something
we need a bridge. We need to bridge this information. We need to bridge this information. Because y'all, we need to bring it to too broke to break up. We need
but before you get too broke to break up, why are you together? That is always the core.
For various reasons. Everybody.
No. There are primary and secondary reasons. There is a primary reason why we get together as a couple. What is the reason? Until you define that, it don't matter. None of it matters. The bottom line is, why are you together? If you decide you're together because you want sex on a regular basis, and 9 times out of 10 it's not going to happen, because once a woman gets married or gets in a relationship, she stops giving sex as much as she used to, because now she got you. That's a reality. So why are we together? Why have we come together? Because I promise you, the broke business will come out of that stuff there. All of a sudden, you don't want to have sex and I'm broke. You women, you know what I'm saying, Jamaica, you marry something to buy something. Karin, how they say that now? When you want pig steel or you want to buy something.
Karin not Jamaican.
Right. Anyway, to buy something, sometimes you have to marry to something else to buy it. So what I'm saying is that once people get together, other things comes out of it. None of us are pure. None of us does this right. So what I'm saying is that you have to find out why you get together in the first place. If you get together because the man makes more money and the one feels more secure being with him, then it's financial. If the man get together because the woman figure, I want somebody to have sex regularly, then it's sexual. But within those sexual and financial issues, there are other issues that comes into play. Why people start saying, first you get together, and in the beginning, the man buy everything. And everything is going smoothly. And all of a sudden, when they got together, they're together for a while, and him say, you know what? Maybe somebody talking to him saying, man, watch yourself, watch her, you have to be careful before she cuts you, as Mr. Mark likes to say. Watch your money. And him start saying, you know something? This is all I have, you know. This is all I have for grocery. And maybe he used to give 300 and give her 100. So she starts watching him. She start watching how he's handling money. And they're watching each other now. Then she start do the thing, put it away, because she's something wrong here. Why I'm withholding? Before he changed to 100, maybe when he give her 300, she take 50 for herself, because women will do that. They take a 25 this week, next week they take 25, and it goes in there. And you know, men don't usually question anything. Men will go on for months and don't question. And like you said, I don't understand how a woman go to the supermarket and buy only what she like and don't buy. I don't understand that kind of thinking, but it happens. But what I'm saying in general, before you get broke or too broke to break up, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the middle before all of that happens. Are you talking about broke financially because you don't break up because you can't manage on your own? Is that what you're talking about?
Sam, that's your argument.
What you're talking about? Broke financially and it's easier, it's cheaper to stay together. Is that what you mean?
Okay, no. Well, I mean, it could go that direction too. But it was pretty much basically saying that there are couples that have to tolerate each other. They've worn out all the reevaluations. They've gone through all the different things. They're trying to make ends meet. So for one person to actually exit, it's tough because both people don't have the kind of monies to say, you know what, I need to move and go here, or I need to move and go there. You're not close to family. You're not close to friends. So you're sort of like in the boondocks. And now, if the relationship has met its point where it needs to be a wrap, you're too broke to even separate.
You know what you said initially? You said have to. That you have to. Nobody has to do anything. People become worn, weary, whatever, and then they say, you know something, I know the hell I have. I don't want to go find a worse hell. So I stick with the hell that I know. And people
right. Tell it, sister.
People
listen, my mother used to say the only thing I have to do is be black and die. Everything else is optional.
Right. So people, but you get used to it. You get used to situations. It's easier to stick with it. It's not that you have to. It's easier. It's less stress. It's less trouble. But in the long run, you're wearing yourself out mentally. And the quality of your life goes down when you live in craziness like that. I couldn't do it.
Here's a realization of it come to. You see this situation the world finds itself in right now? This pandemic. I believe it has helped a lot of people to realize that they were in fact in the wrong relationship. And in some cases, the right relationship. You know, wherein the eyes, that veil was taken off and the eyes opened up. You know, some people had a chance to step back and say, nah, I don't want to do this no more.
Why?
I can't answer for them.
Well,
but I've seen it.
They were too busy.
I've seen it.
Why they got together has worn off.
They were living a lie all of the time, and because of the pandemic, you're now forced to be in close proximity with this person. But before you get up high, you leave, you go to work, you come home, you do your thing, bam, you fall asleep. And people get into this like they're on this
cycle. A cycle.
Yeah, on how you call the little thing, the hamster go on a little hamster wheel, right?
Yeah.
And they go on living the same day over and over and over again and calling that life. Right? You try to say, people, some of us do it. You get up, you do the same routine every morning, you drive the same route to work every day, you go through the same, you reach in, you make coffee, you do the same routine day after day, and they call that life. That is not life. That's not living.
And it's 2 weeks of vacation every year. 2 weeks.
Every year. Right?
And
so now
if they go beyond that 2 weeks, they break up.
This pandemic opened up a lot of people's eyes to the point where some of them realize, like, what the hell am I doing in this hellhole of a marriage or a relationship? And they decide, you know what? The minute this, what they call it, the quarantine thing done, the lockdown, they hit the road. Then there are some that caught up in the situation because now he nor she working and both of them broke, and they, what Sam said, the two broke to break up. So now they find themselves stuck in the same situation. You know, some people say, boy, life is short. Let me tell you something.
Never
life
short.
Could be long if you're with the wrong person. Life could be long if you're with the wrong person. Where you had to get up every day and say, oh gosh, this same tired. So, Karin, jump in on this here. This, you agree with me or you disagree with me with this pandemic situation, or you have a different twist on this?
I did a little bit of reading in Psychology Today, and they did some research on couples who were say, on the brink of breaking up as a result of financial issues. And then they sort of reassessed people during the pandemic over the last 2 years or so, by 2019. What they found is that couples, whether we're talking about married couples or people who are cohabitating, tend to sort of dig in their heels and work harder to change their circumstances. And some 80% of the people that they interviewed 5 years later, like in the earlier study, stayed together, not out of a dire need to maintain their financial status, but because they realized that they worked together and were able to pull through. So that was the positive. The negative part of that would be if you're staying together just for the sake of the kids. If there's there's no more love, there's no more tenderness. Maybe that's the part of the study that turned out to be the negative part. But people tend to want to prevent that dramatic financial loss in their lives. They don't want to deal with accountants and realtors and moving and all of that. So people reassess their lives and say, is it worth it? Is it worth giving up all that I'm accustomed to, or can I work this through? And I know when I got married, it wasn't about if you're broke, I'm out. It was never about that. Other issues broke us up. It had nothing to do with finances, no matter, even though we went through some hard times, it had nothing to do with it.
So you're saying based on your studies, it's basically opposite. It's basically opposite to what I'm saying.
Some 80% of a very large study that was done in Psychology Today.
Actually stayed together.
5 years later, stayed together not out of a dire need to stabilize their finances, but because they realized they were able to work things through. A thing that a lot of people nowadays just want to get up and run, when hard times hit. I'm not from that gene pool, actually.
But something I hear quite often, and sometimes you hear these old couples, and I hear this more in the African American community, where the guy would say, it's like, you ain't going nowhere. All of these years I done put in with your backside, you ain't going nowhere. I done hold and mash up, you ain't leaving me right now. And you ain't no good to nobody out there anyway, so so people just stay after they done put in all these years. It's just like, where the hell you going? Where I going? Let me just stick this thing out till one of we dead. It's like,
sometimes that's just humor, because especially with men, they don't necessarily want to say, listen, I love you, because not everybody gonna say I love you, that's why we're still together. Some people make jokes like that, I mean, at this stage, who wants you, who want me, you might as well stick together. That's not always. People use humor to say what they really feel. So, I don't consider, because I've heard people who genuinely love each other say things like that. So, but I think what Karin was referring to also is that, especially with this pandemic, what it has done, this guy that I know said to me when it first began, he said, if people don't learn through this, they'll never learn. And what he was talking about is the quality of life. The quality of life is what people are getting. That's what's scaring people. They're looking at and saying, backside, I could be dead. Now, the fact is that you could be dead anytime from anything before the pandemic came. But the pandemic made it more imminent. So there is something that is out there that is not visible, but is visible in terms of how people are getting sick and dying. So now it's like mortality. I'm questioning mortality, and I'm saying, boy, look at I could be dead tomorrow. But the truth, you could have been dead last week from something totally different. But this has forced us to look closely at our lives and say, hey, and one of the things is, am I in the right company? Is this the person? Well, you should have done that long before you even want to move in together, but we do what we do. So people start questioning, is this the right person? It don't mean that they're going to choose a better person next time, and it just means sometimes that we're in a panic in this moment. We're in a panic, and we think we should change, and change is hard. Change is painful. So it's not that people can't necessarily, they're too broke to break up. People get into little niches and whatever they call that word.
It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
There you go. So they do that, and they say, well, I got dead anyway. Me used to her, me used to him, me know him breath smell and me know her foot smell. And people do all this kind of stuff and stay there. But the truth is, we should have been doing that from the blasted beginning.
Before we run away, the reason for the breakup is not that you're necessarily broke now. I
understand.
I don't want it to be like, okay, well, you were broke, but now because you're broke, you're breaking up.
No.
So
it makes more sense to stay together. That's what you're saying, than to break up.
No,
but let me ask you brother something.
It's not the main. It may not be the main reason why both people are breaking up. It might be that the relationship isn't happening anymore, but to make that next step, they're not financially able to.
Right. But you should break up anyway.
So Sam and Mark, any of you brothers ever been in a position where you had to depend on a woman financially?
Of course.
Once in a while, yeah. You had to, when things rough,
of course.
That's honest.
That's just if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're working, she working, everybody working, and all of a sudden you're not working. Boy, I want to see the stripe across your chest because some woman cut you good, boy. I mean, she cut your ass good.
I trying to get to the bottom of this situation. We have to unearth. So
but I
the
think
questions
a woman
that
already got the bottom of your situation quick.
The question that I'm asking, that don't say that I went through any kind of trauma because I'm asking the question. I want to know it from a man's perspective. I know generally it's the other way around where women are being taken care of. So I'm asking you, gentlemen, have you all ever been kept?
If you're asking from a perspective, is you who has been, you got licked. I gonna get off to this thing and I gonna talk to you. I want to know the woman that lick your ass good because she licked you good. Low, high. I don't see nothing on your cheek because you got a beard, but she cut your face too. Boy, she didn't play.
Why is it that if a man is making the bulk of the money or making all of the money for the household and is sharing it with the woman in a living situation, marriage, whatever, he's, it's a marriage, you understand the sharing of things. But if a woman is making the money and he's benefiting from it, he's being kept. What is that?
Well, I think I think that's the law. I think that has a lot to do with American law.
That's kind of sensitive in the dynamic.
You want me to answer that? I'm the one that used the word kept. I think that question was thrown at me. You could have called my name. In this society we live in, personally, I don't know any self-respecting black man who wants to sit at home willfully. Hold on, could I? Excuse me, could I answer you? Could I answer you? I personally do not know any self-respecting black man who willfully stays at home and being kept by a woman who's going out and bringing in the money. I know brothers who do that because some of them have no kind of character and they just would milk a woman for all that she has.
Oh, you think I don't have character?
I didn't say you. I didn't say you. I am talking about some people that I know. I'm telling you about some people that I have come across.
You threw in words like willfully, staying home and
yes. I know some of them. Yes.
I'm going to pull my face. I'm going to pull my face very close to this. If there are any women out there who would like to take care of me in any way they see fit or form, my name is Mark Randolph. I live in Tampa, Florida, and I just want to make myself available. Now, the jackass to my left, I can't help it.
That's your right hand.
Okay? He's stupid. I can't help it. What I will, I'll cook for you, clean for you. I'll do whatever I have to do. If you wish to take care of me, I'm an elderly gentleman.
Elderly.
And I could absolutely use your help. This has been my PSA.
I would love for you to have. I would have 1 second. I would have liked for you to have left it in a more open-ended situation rather than added the words that's going to add a judgment onto the situation. Although you personalized it, it would have been nice if you'd been able to see it in a different manner than just that sort of, blinders on. You feel me?
Are you telling me how I should have seen a situation that was triggering to me?
You should have. I said I would have loved. There are a lot of situations. One moment. There are a lot of situations that you have not even weighed into the equation. Yes, there are men and women who would sit home doing nothing and are okay with being kept. But there are so many other situations where a man is doing something at home, a woman is doing something.
Okay, we're not talking about that. I was specific in what I was talking about, what I have encountered.
But I just said that. I said I would have loved if you had sort of rounded it out rather than focused in on just and made it so judgmental.
But that's what I was talking about. I don't have to dance around the mulberry bush for it to be palatable for anyone.
To look at
hold on,
holistic view of things sometimes.
I agree with
Karin. I'm not giving. I hone in on one situation, one scenario that I've seen time upon time again, and I shoot straight to the heart. That's what I saw. I don't have to make that palatable for you or palatable for anybody else. That is what it is.
If we're having a discussion, if we're not limit ourselves. Let us look at things in a more holistic.
I agree with Karin.
Okay, but what I'm saying, okay. Mark, hold on, Mark. Let me make a point.
It is nice to look at other things that come. When we look at a study, we're not looking at just people who win.
But I'm not giving you no study. You could talk about the study if you want. I am telling you a situation I encountered. You do your study. You talk about the study. You have the holistic approach to it. I am talking about a few men that I have come across who prefer to sit their black behind home and milk a woman out of her money. That's what I'm talking about. I don't have to make that palatable to anybody. That's what I saw.
On the whole thing.
While we're working it out, we need some more likes on the YouTube page. Hit the like, hit the share button on Facebook. Like it, share it. Thank you. That's it. We're going good. Nice.
Whatever Curtis said, whatever Karin says, whatever Mark says, whatever Sam says, whatever I say has validity. So the point is, I'm not talking about agreement. I'm talking about reality. Everything that everybody is saying here has a point. It has some validity. We don't, and I have to agree with Curtis here. We don't have to make it palatable. It does not have to be palatable. It has to be reasoned and looked at, and that's what discussion is about. We don't always say things that sounds right and makes people comfortable. The bottom line is that what Curtis said, what you said, everybody has made their point here, and all points should be looked at. But we cannot tell each other how to present our thoughts. That's not even healthy. We have to be willing to listen to each other's thoughts as they come and process it if we want to, and throw it away if we don't want to. But I have to agree with Curtis in that sense, is that he's talking of his experience of African American men that has behaved that way. But he didn't say all men behave that way or all Africans. If he said it, I would have been on him. He didn't say that. He's just talking about some African American men that he knows. I know some African American, I know some white women who bleed their men, who refuse to work and stay home, and the man has to take care of everything. So everybody's point is valid.
Okay, time. Curtis is one man, and he has anecdotal information. It's anecdotal. I know a guy, or I know 10 guys. It's anecdotal. It's anecdotal. Does it represent the majority? No.
But he never said it did. He never said it did.
No. He made his point. He made his point because he knew somebody. Then that was fact. It's anecdotal.
Most of our conversations are anecdotal. Most of our conversations are anecdotal.
No. I don't.
Karin will say she read a survey or she read a.
I don't speak. A survey is not anecdotal.
Say that again.
Okay, a survey is not anecdotal.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Then what he said was anecdotal, and we
so it doesn't make it valid.
As Black people, stop finding the damn anecdotes and start finding the truth.
Oh.
All right. That's
what is true. What is true?
What is truth?
What I said is my truth. That's what I experienced.
No.
Let me tell you.
Anecdotal, partner.
Let me tell you something. Hold on a second here. I worked for 10 years.
No, man.
Mark, I worked for 10 years as a property manager. And I can sit here until 4:30 in the morning giving you stories about situations that I've encountered working as a property manager.
Okay. Right? And you worked in one place, right?
One place, right. Managing 121 condominiums
in the United States.
Okay, well, I'm talking about my situation. I can't tell you about California. I can't tell you about what happened in Wyoming.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. A survey. When somebody does a survey, does it encompass a whole society, a whole community? Isn't it facts drawn from different people within? It's right. So what I'm not in favor of. I'm just talking what makes sense to me. In what Curtis is saying, yes, it's anecdotal because he's a part of the situation, but it's also real facts. He's not making them up. It's real facts that he has gathered from the work that he has done. So if he sat and wrote a paper and said, this is what I found out being a property manager, and I can give you, what you call it? You say couple number one, this is how they lived and this is what happened. He gives facts. It's anecdotal because he's involved, but isn't it also real? Isn't it also facts?
There's a West African fable about 3 blind men in a room with an elephant. And the man at the front of the elephant grabs, he said, "Oh my God, this is a big snake." And the man in the middle says, "This is a wall." And the man at the end says, "I don't know what the hell this is." All of them were right, but it was completely anecdotal. It's where you are at the time. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I cannot believe in that.
Okay, so let me keep it on point here with the too broke to break up. And in the same situation that I just described, the same work environment, I have seen situations where women wait, or should I say, they wait and they welcome back a brother into the house, into the home, coming straight out of prison. And in my opinion, it wasn't all about love, but it was a matter of his ability to hold things down like no one was able to do while he was incarcerated. And I think I mentioned this on the show a few weeks ago. I've seen a situation where brother come home from jail, plastic bag of clothes, walk straight into the house and sat on the couch and decide, I'm going to take a nap. Man inside the bedroom. That man get up and come outside and watch, and he say, wait a minute, what going on here? And she said, well, yeah, he come home. What am I supposed to do? He paid the rent and had to pack his things and move out. The woman didn't stop him, but it was a matter where this brother, once home, he's coming to hold things down again. And she didn't want to break up with him because without him, she don't have 2 nickels to rub together to make a dime. So that bring it back. Too broke to break up, even with a man that's in jail. So once he comes out, he's in charge of that situation once again.
Ow, ow, ow.
Put that on the anecdote. Put that on the anecdote chat. That's another situation that I have witnessed. With them two are right here.
So in terms of so Dr. Judith, when you were talking about where the couples will evaluate themselves, right? Or they would, it takes a certain maturity to do that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But you may have that group of people, they didn't do that part. First, it might have been the attraction. There was some form of attraction. They got intimate, and children arrive, and the whole thing. Their journey started without sitting down on the table and having that initial conversation. So I'm just saying, you would have those who will have the conversation where it may turn out better because you put certain things in place, or everyone put their cards on the table, so the gentleman knows what to expect, the lady knows what to expect. But if both people don't know what to expect and they go in with the flow and responsibilities step in and they're going down the road together and they reach that point, then you'd have that group of people that would have to face being too broke to break up.
Sam, I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna say this. A lot of what we decide to do in life is not really based on we don't really look at things as they are. We look at it from jaded point of view or whatever. When somebody decides that they're too broke to break up financially, sometimes it's because they've gotten used to a certain lifestyle. They've gotten used to having certain things, certain kind of food to eat because you're sharing and you have you're sharing finances. So the quality of your life, you don't want to change that. You want to continue to have a shrimp and what you consider to be nice foods or whatever. You want to continue to go to the movies and to dinner every once in a while. When you want to continue a lifestyle and breaking up is going to interrupt that. Yeah, there are people said, listen, I'm not going to mess up that. I got a good thing going here. I'm going to stick with this. It's easier than going to maybe borrow money to get an apartment and stuff, but it can be done. It's just that we're creatures of habit and we're creatures of what makes us feel good, what's comfortable. So we stick with that. So the words that you use, I have issues with those words because not that you have to. That's a decision you make. Because there are people who are willing to start over and have nothing to start over, but they want peace of mind. They want to be able to have a better mental quality of life. So they say, well, listen, I don't know how I'm going to manage this, but we got to split because it's just not working. So there are people who will stick. There are people married and live in separate rooms for years, buy their groceries separately, do all that stuff. And they say it's fine. I don't know how fine it is, but they say that. So the truth of the matter is it always comes back to individual choice. For me, good mental health is important. I cannot stay in a place where I can't share. If I have to hide money from you, I don't belong living with you. If I have to pretend I only have $5, I don't belong living with you. I can't, because I'm a person who believes in sharing. That's the core of my personality. Now, there are people who are quite fine with that. They don't have any problem with it. So sometimes it's like I say, it's not just they're financially broke. They just don't want to make the move. It's not worth it to them to make the move. So, but there are people who stay together because it's cheaper. As they say, it's cheaper to keep her. Well, some women keep men. So for some women, it's cheaper to keep him. There are men.
Let me ask you something. How do you guys, I want to say guys, I mean, not just guys, women. How you all feel about separation from someone where both parties agree, to do their own thing until they make up their mind as to whether or not they want to stay in that relationship? These couples who talk about, well, you do your own thing and I do my own thing, and then if after a time we decide whether or not we want to keep this and we move along. How you all feel about situations like that?
Are they under the same roof, or they separated? Like
under the same roof?
Sometimes they stay under the same roof, sometimes they separate, and how you all feel about that kind of situation?
But what constitutes what you just said? I'm going to do my own thing. What is the thing you're going to be doing?
They're probably going to see other people. That's probably what they're talking about.
You're having sex with other people.
Yeah, that's
your thing. How they say it? You do you, and I do me.
Right.
That's a tough arrangement, man. A very, very tough arrangement.
I couldn't do that one either.
That's a tough arrangement.
It's not that I couldn't. I wouldn't do that one either.
But there's some people that do it. That I think. No. You see, you have to remember, for some people, this is not for all people. Some people, when those two people got married or they came together, it was a family marrying into another family. So them staying together is really more about the extended the extended what you call the effect, right?
Yeah,
so
relationship.
If they sever that, it's gonna have major repercussions.
Right.
So you may have a couple who decide, here what? I kind of like you, more like a friend. I'm not really feeling the other situation. Let's just appear that we have this like this, and so the milk could keep flowing. Some people decide to do that. It's a tough call, but if they actually sever it, it would have a major domino effect for some families. So that might be a reason why they may decide to go that route, because
again that's a choice.
I want to touch on something. I want to touch on something that Dr. Judith has said twice regarding the women who don't share. You said that at the beginning, and you just said it a few minutes ago. Based on the types of relationships that I've seen in this country, whether it's out there in the media or in my personal life, when before situations even really start to be blatantly sour, start going downhill between the couple, women just get very fearful. And that's really what, I don't think it's that inherently women don't want to share with their live-in person or their spouses. I think that they see whether it's yellow or orange flags coming their way. We discussed that last week, where you like, okay, let me put a plan in place, and
men do it also. Men do that too.
Granted, but I'm speaking of whom I know. Just in case, and just based on the divorce rate in this country alone being 50% or more than that at this point, it's because they want to be prepared and not be completely asked out if he comes and says, I want a divorce. Or if he was the one who was controlling all the finances, all the accounts he was signing off on. Let me do some self-preservation, some self-protective methods. I don't think inherently most women don't want to share. So that's my piece on that.
I don't think I meant it that way, but if I did, I'm corrected. It's not a problem. I don't think that women inherently want to do that. I don't think men inherently want. I think people behave according to the relationships they have had prior. Right. They use that as their measuring stick, and then they say, well, that happened with Fred and that happened with Sharon. It's not going to happen to me again. The problem is, and we're not talking about that problem tonight, but the problem is, why do we get together? If you're getting together, you should have discussed that. And then again, that's so foreign. That is so foreign, but I'll say it anyway. Is that we should have discussed it. Listen, I was married before. My wife, Sharon, left me broke. She caught me 3 ways, as Mark would say. It's hard. I still healing. I don't know if I really want to share my money with you. Those conversations don't take place. And that's the problem. Because
Dr. Judith, I hate to interrupt you here because you really have a good point. But I was just reminded by my daughter that I have to go see my oncologist tomorrow. So I gotta get something to eat before, because I have to fast.
Why are you eating so late? Why are you eating so late?
Because I on here gaffing with you.
With me, poor me.
Miserable somebody.
I'm only as miserable as you are.
No, not you. You're not talking about you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
The yearly checkup.
They gonna get the man in the white suit to shoot me up with his irradiated iodine, and but I'm a hard man for that. So
are you having a checkup or treatment?
Where's it?
You're having a checkup or is treatment?
No, this is the beginning of. They first have to take the PET scan of me, see if I light up like a damn Christmas tree. And if I light up like a Christmas tree, then they go to the next thing, But I don't have time for all that shit.
Well, I wish you well.
Yes.
For you. Well, good.
Yes, baby. You know what? I love you all.
Love you too.
So.
Well, good.
Blessings.
I'm going to catch my rest.
All right, sir.
Take care.
Take care. Good having you.
Blessings. Thanks for coming through.
So, Sam, let me ask you something.
Yeah, brethren.
As a man, how important is it for you to be the breadwinner?
It's important. It's important. But I think it has more to do with the society we live in. One, and two, we're not really in the jungle. So again, the dynamic is different. So it's important, especially for the society that we're in. Even when you listen to love songs, you'll hear a woman write a song about a situation. You know, maybe the man is working for a couple of months or to a year. So in the song, she'll talk about the stuff she buy in the house.
Is it ever uplifting? Is it ever uplifting? Is it ever uplifting when a man finds himself in that position?
No,
never.
When you listen to the song now, she talk about the bed she buy this, she buy that, you know, and
if you want to go through the door, take off everything and put it down, right? That's okay.
So, you know, so it's more of the society that may have to, you know, opposed to it being, you know what, look, if things are slow, it doesn't mean that you're a lackadaisical person. If things are slow, it's slow. If the woman could pick up the slack, she pick up the slack. No, you know, it's not like any shade in it. But to some people in the dynamic, it is an issue. So when the guy stop working, there's a clock that go off in the woman's head, and after a certain amount of time, he realized that he closed their washing. Everybody else closed washing, he closed their washing. And then after a while, you know, grocery being bought, and if he has a specific thing he will get, he might just see that getting less and less and less. So there's a clock that go on, because then in her mind, and it might be something that she planning, you know, it might just be a natural thing going on there, that okay,
natural, huh? Okay.
If you make a year that this thing, you know, then they're now evaluating, well, Breadwinner, what's the scene, you know, well, what's the action? So those would be things that as a man you think about, and you had to pay the cost to be. Remember we talked about the bees last week. After the male bees, they use up their thing, they fly them out and leave them in the trees and say, all right, well, it was nice, lovely, but you know, you know, when the king lion, he can't handle the pride again, you know, the younger boys come and say, well, Pops, we're gonna kill you, you know, but let me take you out so. And Pops by himself. But Pops was the man that had business all along.
All the time, right? You said half the sentence. You said half the sentence. You have to pay the cost to be the boss. To be the boss. For me personally, let me answer the same question. And whether or not Mark or anybody want to call it, I was cut. But yeah, once bitten, twice shy. And sometimes life gives you experiences, and it's up to you whether or not you want to keep walking on the same road and falling in the same pothole, or walking on the same street at night with the same dog rush out and bite you. So you have to learn, right? You get lessons from certain things. And I was in a situation one time, and this is overseas also, and there was no argument or anything, but the young lady, after intercourse and everything, and she was just so cool and calm about it, and she got up and changed her clothes, and you know, I said, "You want me to come in the shower with you?" She said, No, I'm gonna get dressed. And then she got up and she sat at the side of the bed and she said, "Listen, I'm leaving. Here are the keys. By the time I get back, be gone. Put the keys under the mat." And I'm laying there now. I'm laying there naked under the covers. What? By the time I come back, be gone. Put the keys under the mat, and don't come back, because the locks will be changed. Oh, I was a teenager then, and I made up my mind at that point in time that would never, ever happen to me again. You understand? So when I have this persona that I want to do, that I have to be the breadwinner, and I am not going to put myself in a situation. Mark want to call it, I've been cut deep, I've been cut long, I've been cut crossways, sideways, slice up like a sliced bread.
Cut to the white
call it
meat.
what you want.
Cut to the white
Call
meat.
it what you want. Call it what you want. But I learned my lessons.
But you know something. But you know something, Curtis, and this applies to all of us. It is a rough road that happened to you, and really you've allowed it to color every relationship you've been in, probably. And the problem is that sometimes we color the relationship with our failures, our hurts, and the relationship really was much better than it appeared. But our coloration, our coloring it, our attitude, our fear, our attitude that maybe it's going to happen again can actually cause a relationship to go south, as they say. Because we carry the attitude into the relationship. We carry an expectation of failure. We carry an expectation that it's going to probably be bad. And so we give and we give so much and then we pull back. And so sometimes what we do, we harm ourselves and end up not having a good, decent relationship because we don't expect one. Now, that's not necessarily for you or everybody, but that happens a lot more than it doesn't happen. So we have to be careful that even if we got cut deep so you can see the white meat, even if that happens, we have to learn to approach people differently or change our expectations of people. Because if you keep basing it on what happened when you were 18, now to me, that's a hardened woman. First of all, she should have told you what it did. I mean, I have issues with people, period, about not telling each other what's going on. I'd have had to tell you, let's be real, you're laying there naked. You just had intercourse with her. A man's mind, damn, maybe I didn't do it good enough. Maybe I wasn't powerful enough. Maybe I didn't, all those thoughts. And one of the issues that I have even in counseling with women is to continue to tell them, if you consider men dogs, why are you chasing after them? Are you looking for fleas? So the bottom line is, if you are seeing somebody, you're involved with somebody, and something changes in you, it is only right. Because I guarantee you, if she had taken the time to explain something to you, you might not have been cut so deep. But for somebody to get up and get dressed, listen, you're talking about, I mean, you don't have to tell me how you feel. I'm telling you how I would feel if that happened to me with a man. Because then you start looking at your performance. You start looking at, damn, I thought something special was going on here. Wow, man, this is, and so you take it in, and you're not going to take it in positively. And I try to tell people this, whether it's men or women, stop and talk. Stop and say something. Because the way she left it is horrible. I mean, you shouldn't do that to anybody. She should have taken the time to say, listen, it never worked too good, I never like it never sweet enough, whatever, however she had to say it. Because a lot of women don't think that men have feelings. So it's not, it's not a big deal.
Okay, but let me let the cat out of the bag with that situation. It took years for me to find out the truth of the matter. After I got out of the military, I still had a number, and even now the number is still in my memory. That phone number, yeah, I remember that phone number. International number. And one day I just got up out of the blue and I bought a phone card and I dialed the number. Surprising enough, she answered the phone. And she said, explain the situation to me. What had happened? Actually, you said, yeah, there was something in her. Yes, there was something growing inside of her.
Ah.
Yeah, and she decided to go get an abortion.
Wow.
Didn't know how to break that news to me, and decided the best way to do it was to get me out of the situation. And because of how I reacted in shock, and what I did, I jumped up and I was like, no, I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to feel that way because I started feeling like that already, laying there naked, having this upper hand. So I was like, no, you know what? No, I'm going to leave now. So I got up and I just grabbed my clothes on, grabbed my bag.
You ain't putting me out.
No, you ain't going to leave me there and tell me, oh, leave the keys under the mat. So I was like, no, I'm going now. And I got up and I walked out ahead of her and left. And what she explained to me years later, she thought I was going to the bus station. To the train station, rather. But I didn't. I went somewhere else. That's a whole other story. Right?
Fatness.
I went someplace else
to make yourself feel better.
And she now got up and, let me say, ran. This is like a scene straight out of a movie, out of a 50s movie. Ran to the train station, couldn't find me anywhere on the platform. Looked up at the schedule, realized my train didn't leave yet. She went to the booth, had them announce my name on the intercom, but I was nowhere in the train station to be found.
You're too worthless.
And she went ahead and made her decision and do what she had to do. And of course, felt bad about that. And years later, when I called out of the blue, she explained the situation and got it off her chest as to why it is she behaved the way she did and what decision she made and lived to regret.
But you see what poor communication or lack of communication does?
Exactly.
Just say, and that goes for men, because I know men are famous not to say. But you see, me, if you're talking to me, you go have to hear. If I write it to you in a letter, if I call you on the phone, you're going to hear. So, but the thing is, you know, when women, I know for a fact, when I talk about women's behaviors, women tend to get defensive and they get annoyed at me and whatever. But I cannot go through a life where all men are to be blamed for everything wrong in relationships. It's irrational. Men and women share more blame in terms of not communicating. That's something I have seen. I mean, it's not only anecdotal, as Mark would say, it is part of history. Men tend to say less about what they feel and they don't discuss things. But the bottom line is that men and women do similar things. We just do it in a different way. And until we start being honest with each other. And the other thing is this, and I'm going to say it and drop this. When women start telling the truth about other women, this world will be a better place. When women lie for each other, that's one of the biggest problems we have in our society. We have women telling lies for each other. In other words, women are never wrong. That's bull crap. That's foolishness. You cannot always be right because you're a woman. I know I'm not always right. And that is one, because what that does, you know what that has done for us, in my opinion, it has bred somebody like Oprah Winfrey. It has bred these females who tell other females how valuable they are and how wonderful they are. And they're not even sure of their own value. Oprah Winfrey couldn't tell me of my value because I don't think she knows her value. And what I believe, we have this feminist thing going on where we tell each other, yes, sister, you're a queen. Bull. Not everybody's a queen. Not everybody's a princess. So we tell each other lies. And when it gets to the crux of something happens big in a woman's life, and that's when you find what the woman really thought about you. Women, and I think men tell each other lies also. But when women tell each other stuff, we will not own up to the part we play, whether it's hiding the money in the breast, or that you cut him short, that when you get married, you don't want to have sex as much anymore. Those things women need to be more open and transparent about, because that's part of the problems that we have in a relationship. A man that I know well told me years ago, he said, I'm married because I thought she's my friend. And I thought we would have regular sex. Because men tend to be pretty basic. No, he didn't tell her that. And she didn't tell him what she was going to do. But the majority of the times, women get married and they don't want to be bothered. I know at least 2 women who admitted to me they had children to keep the husband from having sex with them because they bring the children in the bed. Those are realities that we do all the time. Women do those things all the time. But as a woman, I'm not supposed to say it. Well, it happens. And women need to stop this foolishness, because whatever foolishness men do, I promise you, we encourage it by our silence. Like these people who are saying they were raped 20 years ago and 30 years ago, I have a problem with those women. I have a serious problem with them. Do not come and tell me this 30 years later. I don't want to hear it. Why didn't you speak of it then? And why are you allowing people to pay you to say this? Because that's happening also. So listen, catch me on the wrong night. I just have the issues with that kind of stuff.
Now, I'm just curious, because I had a neighbor in a different area in Delaware, right? So this was a different couple, and they weren't. I would talk to the husband. You know, he was he was an occasional pharmaceutical guy. You know,
Pharmaceutical.
so we have little discussions, and they weren't really sexually active at all. So whenever he went out to handle business, the wife would lose her mind. And I'm saying, well, I tried to put it together because I said, well, if you all are really handling business, why are you tripping if you need to handle business? You know, I never asked them personally. I just thought it was an interesting dynamic that there would still be an issue. But why he going and do that? But aren't you supposed to be providing?
So we're talking here about loyalty, right?
Huh?
So this is in the arena of loyalty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess that's what it is. I guess if one person's starving, the next one is starved. That's what it is.
I guess so.
Oh, okay, all right.
So let me ask the question of you all here now. Do any of you think that you have the kind of loyalty to remain faithful to a mate? I mentioned the jail thing before, who doing a considerable amount of time in jail, or somebody who, to say, went off in the military for months or years. Do you think you have that kind of loyalty to remain faithful in light of a bad financial situation where you find yourself broken? Do you think you have that kind of loyalty to remain faithful?
I do. I know I do.
We are three people. The only one answering, man.
I don't correlate loyalty.
Wait,
and
who went to jail, the man or the woman?
Neither are.
I don't correlate loyalty with what you've just, the scenario you just described. I don't get that.
Well, there are people who go to jail and the woman disappears because the money is not coming in. Those are facts.
It depends on how long he going away for, he or she.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if the person doing 30 years, I mean, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It depends on who rapping.
I'm just saying, you know, some people, if they may realize they have an illness, and they might just, based on the illness, they may end the relationship too. I've seen situations like that.
I mentioned that in the beginning, through sickness and in health.
You know, either the man will feel inadequate and tell the wife, look, you know what, I wouldn't be able to handle situations. Let's call it a wrap.
So what about them vows though? That's my whole, that's what's my opening. You make the vows.
Remember when a past episode when I said when it dead, it dead.
But you know something, without I guess Sam will say
put up Andrea's comment there.
Sam was telling TMI. Why you marry a man that is low life?
Let me read that. She said, "Curtis, I do for better or worse. We all fall in hard time, but if the man is a low life,
no.
When did she find out he was a low life? I can tell you without getting into exact details.
Okay, Andrea.
I considered marrying somebody who was not that many years ago. I considered marrying somebody who was not able to perform sexually. The affection that I had for him and that he had for me, I would have, but he was afraid. He was afraid that, you know, somewhere along the line I would have given, you know, wanted to get the real thing or whatever however you want to put it. But the truth of the matter is that people love different. I love different. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I had a romantic love for him, but I also had just a kind of what they would call maybe an agape love. I had a very strong affection for him, and I was drawn to him deeply, and he to me. But he had a hard time believing that I would have remained faithful. But then the way I view sex is not the way most people. Sex is a wonderful thing, but to me, it is because of love. Sex by itself does nothing for me. I mean, other than a physical release.
Oh.
Yeah, you hear it. Other than a physical release. But when I love somebody and I do that, it enhances the situation. So the fact of the matter, like I said, I was willing to marry him, and he was younger than me. So the reality is that a lot of people look at life very differently. And people say, somebody told me, you're crazy. I said, well, that's okay. I mean, if you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I don't really care. But that was my take. Because like I said, sex is really not as people make it out to be. Relationship, companionship, some powerful stuff. So, but that's my take.
I have a couple questions to ask before we leave, and I want to get them all in. Let me pose a question to hold off on this one, sir. To the woman. Do you have some kind of system you use to make decisions when it comes to holding on to someone? Or do you hold on to them just, I don't know, forget the second half of the question. I want to know if you have some kind of system in place to make your decisions. Because in my opinion, it takes several pillars to hold up a relationship. Like any house on stilts, it would take at least 4. And in some situations, you pull out one of them and everything come tumbling down like when you're playing Jenga. One pillar removed and everything come falling down. So is there some kind of system you all have in place when it comes to holding?
Who's you all?
The woman. I tell Sam still to this one. I want to hear both of you all take. Karin kind of quiet.
Your assumption is, or let's rephrase that.
It's a question.
No. Well, rephrasing my statement, not rephrasing your question. It seems as if you're saying that everyone has the same set of pillars. My pillars are probably completely different from the next person. Do I have a system? No.
Ole frozen.
Judith?
Take it, Dr. Judith.
No.
I've never thought consciously about that, but then again, I do have a system. I'm sure there are certain things that I require, and from a man towards me. And when I was younger, I didn't have pillars, so I was walking around lopsided like this plenty of the time. I didn't know I could have pillars. I didn't know I could have things that I need. I thought, in a sense, what you just said is just like, I'm here. If I meet somebody, that has changed over the last 20-something years. And as a result, I don't attract the same people anymore. Because people can come to you knowing you ain't got no pillars. And they insert themselves and you start depending on them like that's what you're supposed to have. When in reality, I found out for myself it's not what I needed. So what my thing is, my pillars are, I need somebody especially at this stage of my life, I need somebody who believes in God. I need somebody who is, and I'm not going to tell anybody 100% honest because that's not honest to even say that. I need somebody who is intelligent. I mean, these are very simple things for me. Who's intelligent. Somebody that I can talk to. We can have conversations without somebody telling me, you think I'm an idiot. I don't want them kind of foolishness around me. I've seen that. I don't want that kind of nonsense. I need somebody who will be able to speak to me, even if not as effectively as I speak, but be able to say something to me. Communication is important. Humor is important. These are things that I must have to have a good relationship with a man. I mean, because before I didn't know I needed those foundational pillars. I didn't know that. I thought you meet somebody that like you, like them, and then that's a bunch of crap. So I have pillars, and I'm at the point now. If they're not there, I'm grateful. I'm grateful when I see it's not there. I'm like, okay, leave that alone, because it's unfair to know what I desire, take on to somebody, and then they can't meet my expectations, and I'm going off on them and being stupid when they just don't have it. And that's one of the gifts that I've received in the last 20-something years. You can't make people give you what they don't have, and you can't make them into somebody that they're not. And one of the greatest gifts that I've had is to be alone for 2003, to be alone for 18 years. Because within that time frame, I've learned, and I continue to learn about me. And people don't understand, if you know you well, you know what you need and you know what you don't need. So for me, I have learned, and I continue to learn about what I desire and what I need. So now I got pillars. I got some foundational things that's needed. And if it's not there, I don't want it. Even if the sex appears to maybe to be great, don't want it.
No great sex, huh? Okay.
Yeah, what I said? I said, even if the sex appears that it would be good, sex don't fix everything. It mash up things sometimes.
The man here, yeah, it does.
You're too sick.
So, Karin, you give me a very brief answer on that. Take us home with a couple more gems. Your answer was kind of brief. Tell us a little more about your criteria. No, hold on. No. I'm expanding the question a bit. Not just the system in place, but tell us more about, let's say, criteria that you use. Whether or not you just choose for let him go with the strongest wave and make the sea take him, or you decide for hold on.
Criteria for what? I'm not too clear.
Holding on to somebody.
I don't hold on to anyone who doesn't want to be held on to. What? Is that complicated?
No, not at all.
All right.
Sam?
we doing our our final thing, or
wrapping up. That's why I asked her to leave us with some gems, but she said it plain. I ain't holding on to nothing.
Not holding on to anything.
That doesn't want to be held on to.
That doesn't want to be held on to.
That's reasonable. And I agree with her there.
Yeah, that's straight to the point, Well, I had some points and thing here. One of the things I wonder about, right? One of the things I wonder about when we going back too broke to break up, right? Now, there was a certain point where there was a friendship, right? Like you had a friendship, and then the friendship progressed to whatever it progressed to. Now, when it passed, is in that case, is the friendship like training wheels on a bike? And then when you take off the training wheels, it's up to this point, right? Can you go back? You can't go back to the training wheels again. So this is why some couples can be friends after, you think? Because but shouldn't friendship still be part of somewhere in the mix in the equation? So they had to take some time, like 5-10 years, and then come back and talk. And if one person don't survive the 5 or 10 years, so I always wondered, like, okay, because if two people had to break up, they should at least still have the friendship, right?
They never had the friendship in the beginning.
So it was not. There was no friendship then.
No, there was.
So what was the training? So when the two singers sing the song "We Can't Be Friends," you all know that song, the duet.
Not quite, but go on.
What's the boy from Next? What's his name again? Riley and what the young lady name?
Who that?
And they sing the song "We Can't Be Friends."
No, know that one.
You don't know that song? Okay, but anyway,
I'm friends anyway.
So there was never a friendship then.
Yeah, and people don't listen. Some of the greatest romances came out of friendship. Came out of a platonic friendship, just getting to know each other and liking each other. And some of the greatest romances, some of the greatest marriages have come out of platonic relationship.
Okay, so that means that there was no friendship at all. So you can't come back to what you didn't have. Oh,
I can't disagree with you.
I was just now the other question I had was, is greener pastures really green? Because people think when they roll out from one situation that the green pastures, so how, I guess that's, you guys could figure it out. It might be rhetorical. Are you really leaving for greener pastures? Or when you get there, you realize that it kind of dry too? I mean, I guess it depends on who leaving who, and then the person who got left may end up in greener pastures.
This is your Sam.
Yes, sir.
Sam, leave us with rhetorical questions. Make us think about it. Conversation. Right. This is your moment.
This is my moment. And my topic too. I'm very proud of my topic. I thought it went very well.
Put it into shape, Sam.
Too broke to break up. And I want to understand this vex money thing, because the vex money is applied to your significant other, or is vex money applied to anything? So if you went out, we have comments. If you went out with your significant other, but they get vexed, you didn't get them vexed. They're vexed for some other reason. Are they going to use that vex money for what both of you all plan to do?
Only if the two of them get vexed at the same
time. That's a good question, right? But I think the vex money is applied to if she fall out with her significant other, right? I think that's what the vex money is for.
Yeah, if he start calling her names, or if he is being disrespectful,
he didn't call her name.
Well, it depends on what the woman perceives. He did something to offend her, and she don't want to be seen with him. She don't want him to carry her home. That's it. So she took her vex money and take her home.
Is it still vex money if somebody else makes you vex?
That's a very deep question.
Yeah, if somebody else, let me say the waiter come and drop some coffee on she dress in the restaurant, and she get vexed. I didn't drop the coffee. The waiter dropped the coffee, and I couldn't catch it in time. You see what I'm saying?
It's only vex money if the negative behavior came from the significant other. It has nothing to do with the waiter, the waitress. It has nothing to do with the owner of the restaurant. It has to do with those two people that are out someplace, and whether they're in a park or in a restaurant or wherever, and something he does vexes her. She already has her vex money. So when he vexes her, she says, well, I have my vex money. I can clear out. So she take her vex money and she clear out.
Now what if she put the vex money in the wrong brassiere and she go out and realize she had no vex money on she?
Well, she usually put the vex money in the brassiere while she has it on. So it's unlikely that would happen. Every fool she says I go and answer. Crazy thing.
All right, people. I think I had my fun. Let me see somebody. Yes, Sam. If he upset her only, then you use the vex. Okay, so that is Carol. Carol say if he upsets her. Now, do men have vex money?
Yes, they should. I think they should. Emergency money.
One says emergency money.
Men should have money. I advise men to always have something. I advise men to always have money. Always keep something. I mean, if you're gonna be doing for one, you should do it for the other. But both of you should have money. I don't
know if men does have vex money.
Too stupid.
And men does work with Danzai. I don't know if they does have vex money. But
men should have vex money.
Should men have vex money?
Yeah, that's a good one. Men get vex.
I good all it. Who I don't know. Curtis and Dr. Judith all work it out.
You work it out.
All work it out over there. So what I got and share.
So I don't have any deep, profound thoughts on this final comment tonight. But I asked the question in terms of criteria that you use to decide whether or not you hold on to an individual. Speaking about those pillars that are important to you in a relationship, there are several pillars it takes to hold up any relationship. For me personally, communication is first and foremost. And somehow, if that communication pillar is pulled from under that structure, I don't think the rest could hold up. Because for me, personally, it is the most first and foremost pillar, the bedrock that holds up any relationship for me. Whether it's relationship with a mate, a friendship, whatever other kind of ship we're on. Communication. I believe that there are weaknesses and strengths in every individual. So sometimes people may fall short of our expectations, and you may fall short of someone's expectations. So most times we tend to carve out this image or this person that we make up in our minds, and we want someone to come and fit into that mold. And too many times when that person don't fit into that mold, we kick them out and try to find somebody to fit inside of the same mold that you create. Sometimes in life we have to accept or reject people for who they are. I'm not saying make them into who you want them to be, but find some common ground. But look for qualities in that individual that are valuable to you as an individual. Not everything, because unless you're still playing with Play-Doh, as they call it nowadays, or plasticine, as we used to call it back in the day, you ain't gonna make or find that perfect person that you're looking for, that you have conjured up in your mind. Meet people, accept them for who they are, and if that somehow is a perfect fit for you, all praise is due. But don't ever, we did a topic about this, don't ever try to make me over into somebody that you think I'm supposed to be. Don't try that. It won't work. I have never seen it work for anybody. So stop looking for perfection in people when you your damn self far from perfect.
Mercy.
And I have to ask this question: how is it that a couple, I forget to bring this up earlier, a couple in a relationship, they're surviving off for $70,000-$80,000 a year combined. And she asks for a divorce because for whatever reason she wants out. and now turn on and want that man to pay alimony and child support, which totaling, okay, between the two of them, let's say 80,000. Let's split that down the middle, 40 grand a year. Let's just split it down the middle. One might be making more, one might be making less. And now this woman, in her twisted mind, want the judge to give her a judgment where this man now paying out something like $35,000 a year in alimony and child support. How on earth is this man supposed to survive on $5,000 or $10,000 where you have left? And they make this claim that they have to keep up a lifestyle that they're accustomed to. Well, Miss Ex-Wife, and your Honor, sir, I was accustomed to having sex with her 4 or 5 times a week. I figure if we cut that down to like 2.5 times a week, that would be fair, don't you think? Since she wants to keep up with the lifestyle that she accustomed to, I think it's right for me to keep up to the lifestyle I'm accustomed to, right? And if you don't think that is fair, then I don't see how it's fair for that man to dish out more than 50% of his income to maintain you while you move on into another relationship. That is wrong. This whole alimony thing, it's a kind of twisted thing. This thing come from way in ancient Babylonian times in their courts. And this thing was passed down through the English and it came over here in the United States, and that's where it started. And it's continued. This whole thing where a man still have to maintain, I know you want to go. I don't have to maintain your lifestyle. If you so love that lifestyle that you were accustomed to, then maybe you should have stayed. Or go find something comparable, but don't expect me to maintain that so that you could go shopping and drive the same car and live the same lifestyle that you were living when you were here. That, America, change your laws. It's wrong. It's unfair to us men.
Mr. Lamont,
you all don't have to agree with me. I am not bitter. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. Peace and blessings.
And I'm sticking with it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Judith Barnes. I'm an author, a playwright, poet. I'm also a broadcaster by training, and I recently found out about 2 years ago that I can paint paintings, which means I paint sceneries, I paint landscape, I paint animals. I have just discovered, and so that I can do this. And so along with all the other gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, I have paintings, and they are on view and for sale on Etsy and also on Facebook. And if you desire to order any painting or order one of my books, because I'm also an author, please give me a call at 470-564-8267. That's Dr. Judith, and the number again, whether you want to just talk to me or order one of my paintings or one of my books, please feel free to call 470-564-8267. Thank you.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people asked, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chat? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.